Welcome behind the scenes at aNaturalDesign.com studios. Today we're going to work on a wiring tutorial for a double leg mount method of wiring, as well as complete a beautiful Mother's Day themed arrangement. If you know the designer that made the original image, drop their information for a shout out into the description, into the comments. And with that, here is the rose head that we'll be using a double leg mount method on. Here is our container that we'll be using and all of our associated tools. So we're going to use a plastic pillow stem cage. We're also going to use floral tape. We got 2 gauges of wires, a 24 gauge and an 18 gauge. And we're going to use all of our beautiful blues and greenery. We have some silver dollar eucalyptus, we have some scotch broom, we have some apple tree branches, we have some white spray roses, some peach Asiatic lilies, some green carnations, some white spider mom, and a few other little heads in here. Save anytime we're making arrangements or processing flowers and they break. We like to save them because they're perfect use for corsages and boutonnieres, and I'll see how I can incorporate them into our Mother's Day themed arrangement in a nice huge bubble bowl. Let's get started. So for the wiring part of our tutorial, we'll work on a double leg mount method with a rose head. And for the double leg mount method, we're using 2 sticks of the 20 gauge florist wire. It's a little bit of a thicker gauge, and we'll be inserting them into the calyx and piercing through the calyx, bending down the wires, and to have more strength, using 2 of them to replace the stem that's now missing. And then we'll be wrapping it in stem tape. And we've done a tutorial previously on how to use tape, and it is a paper tape and sticks to itself and stretches just a little bit, but also can rip like paper. So we'll go ahead and get started on that, and then after that, we'll go ahead and proceed to make our big overall arrangement. So here is our floral head, and you can see how it broke on the bottom. The stem broke. So for the double leg mount method, we're gonna go in on this side, and we're using that other wire in a cross. So you have an X going through the wire. And then from there, we're going to bend both wires down. And we'll tape it. But right here you can see you have the 2 short pieces, and then you have the rest of the length of the wire. And it is a wire. You can see how it's not loose and bending like a piece of ribbon. It's actually more like a stick, like a stem, just like how we need it. So now that we have a replacement for the stem that we're missing, we'll go ahead and use our floral tape. Make sure we have some room there, and we're going to start at the head of the rose up here, the very top. See how we don't have any stem to work with on this, and that's why we're using the double leg mount method. So I'm starting as far up on the calyx, on the base of the rose right there where the stem snapped off, and I'm pulling and pinching the tape with my fingers as I rotate the rose head. And squeezing the tape as tight as I can around itself. This is a little bit trickier because you're just holding onto wires. There's no actual stem to work with, and you have to make a few more rotations before moving down than you normally would if you had a stem to work with as well. So now I've been able to get a nice solid start with the tape up on the calyx. It's great, it's not slipping off. Sometimes that can be one of the hardships of doing a double leg mount with no stem. But now that we've got that start and it is here and this tape is staying on, we're just going to continue all the way down. And I'm holding tight with my fingers and my thumb on my dominant hand, and then I'm using my fingers and my hand on the head of the rose to twist as I'm pulling as well. So I'm twisting and pulling with the hand on the right on the screen for you, which is the left hand for me. And I'm just twisting and pulling, and the tape is feeding through my right hand, which looks like it's on your left, your angle there. And we're coming all the way down to the end with the wire. And these wires came in pre-cut sticks, so we didn't even have to worry about trying to find our wire cutters for them, because we needed the whole stick, the whole stem, because our arrangement is going to be actually pretty large. Alright, and now I've been able to get from the head of the rose all the way down the double wires to the very end. I can pull that tape off, close that, the loose end, and you can see here now how this rose looks like it has a stem. It's kind of like some magic there. Now all of a sudden, where we did not have anything to work with on the stem with this rose head, we do now have a rose head and a makeshift stem to be able to use in our arrangement next.